The atmosphere in the NBA has shifted rapidly in recent weeks, and one of the franchises drawing the most attention in this scenario is the Golden State Warriors. More than a month has passed since the free agency market opened, yet the Warriors' front office has still not executed any truly significant moves to strengthen the roster. Fans' expectations are high, and behind-the-scenes discussions point to a clear need. It's time to shake up the pieces, find bold solutions, and give Stephen Curry a squad worthy of his recent seasons. Even with a core featuring heavyweight names such as Curry, Draymond Green, and the newly acquired Jimmy Butler, it is evident that the team's depth is still not at the level of a side that can fight toe-to-toe for the title. The possible additions of experienced players like Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton could bring more consistency, but they would hardly be enough on their own to close the gap separating Golden State from the current league powerhouses. To contend for the championship, something more impactful would be required, a move capable of elevating the team's status. It is within this context that the proposal-stirring conversations among analysts and fans emerges. A high-risk, high-reward trade involving Zion Williamson, the New Orleans Pelicans star. The imagined package is direct and provocative. Golden State would send Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody to New Orleans in exchange for Williamson and a 2031 second-round pick. The idea alone is enough to split opinions and spark debates over cost, benefit, and long-term future. For the Warriors, such a deal could put an end to an ongoing saga that has been straining the internal atmosphere, the Jonathan Kuminga situation. Although the 22-year-old forward is a promising talent and has supporters within the franchise, doubts over his role and future have been mounting. A trade of this magnitude, even if costly, could pave the way for a new offensive and defensive dynamic. More than that, it would place alongside Curry and Butler a player capable of transforming the Warriors' attack. When healthy, Zion Williamson is one of the most dominant and explosive athletes in the NBA. At 25 years old, he carries a rare blend of physical and technical skills seldom seen in the league. His ability to drive to the basket, finish with power, and create constant mismatches makes him a threat in any offensive scheme. Last season, even with a limited number of games, he maintained impressive averages: 24.6 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 5.3 assists, proving that when he is on the court, he changes the game's rhythm and impact. In Golden State's system, Williamson would take on a role that could enhance the performance of the entire roster. His presence in the paint would create more space on the perimeter, allowing Curry cleaner looks and enabling Butler to exploit his mid-range efficiency. Moreover, his ability to draw multiple defenders would open up opportunities for quick plays and unexpected drives, an element the Warriors have lacked in recent years. Another noteworthy point is his contribution on the boards. While he would not drastically increase the team's average height, Williamson is a solid rebounder, capable of battling for possession against taller and stronger centers. This presence in the paint would not only bolster the defense, but also generate more second-chance points, a potentially decisive factor in playoff games. The 2031 second-round pick accompanying Williamson might seem insignificant at first glance, but for Golden State, it would be a strategic bonus. In high-profile trades, every detail counts, and the ability to turn that pick into a future talent or use it in secondary deals cannot be dismissed. On the other hand, the Pelicans would also have reasons to approve the deal. The departure of Zion, while impactful, would pave the way for the arrival of two young players with significant potential: Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. Kuminga, in particular, is viewed as a piece that has yet to reach his ceiling and could flourish in a new environment with greater prominence. His physique, defensive capability, and ability to create his own shot make him a valuable profile for a team seeking youth and energy. Last season, Kuminga averaged 15.3 points and 4.6 rebounds, but these numbers came in limited minutes within a scheme that often prioritized veterans. In New Orleans, he would have room to grow, explore his versatility, and establish himself as a two-way player. While he may not have the same playmaking ability as Zion, Kuminga offers greater durability and a physique less prone to serious injuries, which carries significant weight in long-term planning. Moses Moody, meanwhile, is considered one of the most underrated players on the Warriors roster. At 23 years old, he has shown flashes of talent as a shooter and versatile defender. Last season, he averaged 9.8 points and 2.6 rebounds, shooting 43.3% from the field and 37.4% from three-point range. Although he might not be an immediate starter for the Pelicans, he could play an important role off the bench and solidify himself as a reliable rotation piece. An interesting detail about this trade is that both Kuminga and Moody would reunite with familiar faces in New Orleans. Jordan Poole and Kevin Looney, former teammates with the Warriors, are already part of the Pelicans roster. This pre-existing chemistry could speed up integration and make the transition smoother, potentially having a positive influence on the team's collective performance from the start of the season. Despite appearing mutually beneficial, it is undeniable that the Warriors would be taking the bigger risk. As talented as Zion Williamson is, he has an injury history that concerns any executive. Over the past 3 seasons, he has been available for only 129 games, raising questions about his ability to maintain peak physical condition over the course of an entire campaign. The challenge for Golden State, should they finalize this trade, would be ensuring Williamson is in optimal condition to contribute consistently. If they can maintain his health and fitness, the rewards could be enormous: a rejuvenated team, an upgraded offensive arsenal, and the potential to return to the top. However, if physical issues persist, the risk of disappointment would also be great, leaving the franchise in an even more complicated position for the future. Behind the scenes of the league, the potential trade between the Golden State Warriors and the New Orleans Pelicans is already sparking intense discussions. Executives from other franchises are closely monitoring the progress of these talks, knowing that a move of this magnitude would not only affect the two teams involved, but could also redefine the balance of power in the Western Conference. The mere thought of seeing Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Zion Williamson playing together arouses both curiosity and concern among rivals. A trio with this combination of talent, experience, and physical presence would have the potential to change the course of any playoff series. For the Warriors, the arrival of Williamson would represent more than just a bet on pure skill. It would also be a statement to the rest of the NBA that the franchise is willing to take risks to keep its championship window open. Although Curry remains the driving force of the team, the natural wear and tear of his career and the physical demands of the league mean that the time to build another title run is growing shorter. This is why Golden State cannot afford to wait for young talents to mature without guarantees of immediate success. On the Pelicans' side, the potential departure of Zion is undoubtedly an emotional blow. Since being chosen as the first overall pick in the 2019 draft, he has been seen as the face of the franchise and a symbol of hope for the city of New Orleans. However, the relationship has been marked by highs and lows, mainly due to physical issues and long absences. As a result, there has been growing internal understanding that perhaps it is time to seek a new path and invest in players who can contribute more consistently. In this context, Jonathan Kuminga emerges as a strategic target. His athletic profile and the energy he brings to the court could fit perfectly into the Pelicans' philosophy, which has sought to develop a solid defensive identity and a dynamic offense. Moses Moody, in turn, would add depth and long-range shooting, two essential elements for any team hoping to compete in today's NBA. The most intriguing aspect of this negotiation lies in balancing risk and reward. For Golden State, Williamson's ceiling is undeniably higher than Kuminga's. If healthy, Zion could be the missing piece to transform the Warriors back into a powerhouse. For the Pelicans, the trade offers greater security in terms of player availability and the opportunity to develop up-and-coming talent who could contribute for many years. In recent days, rumors suggest that both sides have been engaged in exploratory talks, analyzing numbers, contracts, and salary cap impacts. Kuminga's situation is particularly interesting, as he is about to become eligible for a significant contract extension. If the Warriors feel they cannot or do not want to pay the amount he will seek, the trade could become even more attractive. Another factor to consider is the emotional impact of this deal on the fan bases. Warriors supporters, accustomed to victories and championships, might see Williamson as an injection of hope, though there is also the fear of reliving frustrations if injuries once again sideline him. Pelicans fans, while they might mourn the loss of an all-star caliber player, could be encouraged by the prospect of a younger, healthier, and more competitive team in the long run. Jimmy Butler's presence in this equation also adds another layer of complexity. Butler is known for his intense style, demanding commitment, and holding his teammates accountable. A player with a history of physical problems and conditioning questions like Zion would have to quickly meet that standard. If the adaptation were positive, the trio of Curry, Butler, and Williamson could become one of the most complete in the league, blending shooting, defense, and physical attacking power. Moreover, there is an interesting tactical question: how to integrate Zion into a system that has always prioritized ball movement and offensive fluidity. Williamson is most effective when he has possession to create or attack the rim directly, while the Warriors have historically distributed the ball among multiple hands. This would require adjustments from Steve Kerr and his coaching staff, potentially adapting the system to maximize the newcomers' skills without compromising the identity that has made Golden State a historic team. For the Pelicans, the arrival of Kuminga and Moody could accelerate a rebuild. With a young core featuring Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum, and the two former Warriors, the team would gain more versatility and options to switch lineups. Kuminga's defensive energy and Moody's perimeter accuracy could complement the existing talent well, while allowing for different combinations to face opponents with varied playing styles. Another less discussed but potentially influential point in the negotiations is the financial aspect. Zion Williamson's contract is hefty, and for the Warriors, absorbing it would mean compromising part of their future flexibility. On the other hand, Kuminga and Moody have more affordable deals, making the trade a high-risk investment for Golden State. This difference in value could ultimately determine whether the trade happens or remains in the realm of speculation. Even with all these elements, what stands out most is the feeling that if this deal goes through, the NBA will gain a new narrative to follow. It would be the story of one team betting everything on a generational talent with physical fragility, and another deciding to restart with more stability and a long-term vision. If the deal between the Warriors and the Pelicans goes through, the impact would not be limited to sports headlines. The move would carry considerable symbolic weight, as it would show that Golden State, even after years of dominance and a brief decline, remains willing to be bold and take calculated risks. The franchise has a recent history of prioritizing continuity and internal chemistry, but has also shown on other occasions that it does not hesitate to make aggressive moves when the right opportunity arises. The arrival of Kevin Durant in 2016 is a clear example of how management is unafraid to change the team's dynamics in pursuit of titles. This trade, however, would be different in several aspects. Unlike Durant, who arrived at the peak of his physical and technical abilities, Williamson comes surrounded by doubts about his durability. The investment would not only be financial but also medical and logistical, requiring rigorous monitoring to avoid relapses and ensure he can be available for most of the season. Golden State would have to rethink its physical preparation department, possibly adjusting training, diet, and game schedule to maximize Zion's presence on the court. The relationship with the fans would also be a key factor. Many supporters see Kuminga as the future of the franchise, a player who, even at a young age, has already shown flashes of talent that could be developed. Letting him go could generate resistance, especially if Williamson failed to deliver immediate results. On the other hand, if the power forward arrives and manages to reproduce his best level, excitement would quickly spread through the Bay Area, rekindling memories of the team's most glorious era. For the Pelicans, the trade would mark the end of a cycle that never reached its full potential. Zion Williamson was the symbol of a new era when he was drafted, but year after year, expectations were frustrated by physical problems and a lack of consistency in collective performance. The decision to trade him would not be just a technical one, but also emotional, a way to close a chapter and start another with a safer and more sustainable approach. Kuminga would bring exactly that: constant energy, physical presence, and a growth-focused mentality. His more accessible contract would allow the Pelicans to better manage the salary cap, creating room to invest in complementary pieces. Moses Moody, with his profile as a reliable shooter and disciplined defender, would complete the package by offering immediate impact in the rotation, even if coming off the bench. The tactical implications of this trade are also interesting. With Williamson in the Warriors, the offense could explore new ways of applying pressure in the paint, something that has not been part of the team's recent identity. At the same time, the defense would need adjustments to compensate for possible physical vulnerabilities of the new star. Steve Kerr, a master of adaptation, would face the challenge of integrating Zion into a defensive scheme that has always been based on versatility and teamwork. On the Pelicans side, the arrival of Kuminga and Moody would allow them to experiment with longer, more athletic lineups, enhancing perimeter defense and offensive transition. The coach could explore lineups with multiple players capable of defending various positions, something essential in today's NBA. In addition, Williamson's departure would free up more space in the paint for other talents to develop, creating a less predictable and more distributed offense. There is also the psychological factor inside the locker room. For Golden State, Williamson's arrival could serve as fuel for veterans who know time is short to win another title. For New Orleans, the injection of new blood would bring motivation to a group that needs to rediscover its identity and purpose. The media fallout would be inevitable. Sports programs, podcasts, and social media would dive into analyses, comparisons, and predictions. There would be heated debates about who won the trade and whether the Warriors were right to bet so heavily on a player with a history of injuries. At the same time, questions would arise as to whether the Pelicans gave up too soon on such a rare talent. The impact of this deal would go beyond the current season. It would shape the next few years for both franchises. If Williamson stays healthy and performs at a high level, the Warriors could prolong their era of relevance in the league. If Kuminga and Moody develop as many believe they will, the Pelicans could become a consistent force in the West. The dilemma is clear. On one side, immediate potential to contend for titles. On the other, consistency and long-term building. And, as so often happens in the NBA, the line between success and failure would be defined by details invisible right now. A tactical adjustment, an unexpected development, or even the element of luck when it comes to injuries. Kai returned to the courts with an impressive performance, once again demonstrating why he is considered one of the top emerging talents in Asian basketball. In his most recent matchup against Kyoto, he displayed a remarkable performance, accumulating 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. These numbers go beyond simple statistics. They reflect his constant evolution as a player and his ability to directly impact the game. From the opening whistle, it was clear that Kai was determined to shine. Combining his imposing height with agility and refined technique, he dominated the painted area and left the opponents with few answers. His mid-range shots were sharp, a clear evidence of the continuous work he puts into honing his skills. Furthermore, his court vision became evident in decisive moments, distributing precise passes and connecting his teammates in key plays. In the tensest moments of the game, Kai demonstrated his leadership ability. In one of the most memorable plays of the third quarter, he overcame 2 defenders with a swift dribble, converted the basket, and secured the extra point by making the free throw after drawing the foul. This type of play not only excites the crowd but also proves that he knows how to perform under pressure, an essential quality for any athlete who dreams of playing in the NBA. The excitement among fans regarding Kai's future is more than justified. He is on the verge of reaching significant milestones in his B-League journey. With only 76 points left to reach the impressive mark of 1,000 points in the competition, he is just a few steps away from joining a select group of athletes recognized for their offensive consistency. But the young player's achievements are not limited to scoring. He has already surpassed the 500-rebound barrier, solidifying his dominance in the paint both offensively and defensively. Additionally, he is only 4 assists away from reaching the 100-assist mark in the league, proving that his ability to create opportunities for his teammates is one of his great virtues. These numbers are clear reflections of the impact Kai has on the game. His combination of wingspan, technical skill, and tactical intelligence makes him one of the most complete players in the league. Every point scored, rebound grabbed, and assist delivered brings him closer not only to records, but also to his dream of playing in the NBA. The consistency with which he performs his role on the court does not go unnoticed. Experts and commentators already view him as a player capable of raising the competitive level of the B-League. Comparisons with great centers from the past are starting to emerge, reinforcing the idea that Kai could leave a significant legacy in international basketball. Kai's differentiator is not just in the numbers he records, but in how he influences each game. His presence on the court generates the expectation of special moments, whether leading the team in decisive moments or dazzling the fans with spectacular plays. He has shown that he possesses all the qualities necessary to stand out at any level of basketball. When discussing Kai Sotto's future and a possible move to the NBA, one question has become frequent. Which team would benefit most from his signing? For many fans and analysts, the answer seems obvious. The Golden State Warriors, the California team's fan base, known for its passion and engagement, has already started mobilizing on social media to ask the team to sign Kai. The Warriors have built their reputation around a dynamic style of play based on quick movement, long-distance shooting, and team basketball. However, one of the team's challenges has been the lack of a dominant physical presence in the paint, someone who can protect the rim, secure rebounds, and bring balance to the team. And this is exactly where Kai Sotto fits in. His impressive height, combined with his ability to read the game, is something rare in modern basketball. Additionally, his international experience puts him ahead of many young athletes still adapting to different styles of play. For a franchise looking to rebuild without losing competitiveness, Kai would be an intelligent and strategic option. The possibility of his signing would represent a low-risk, high-potential investment. Kai has already shown that he can be effective both defensively and offensively. His ability to finish near the basket, combined with his evolving mid-range shooting, makes him a versatile player capable of adding immediate value to the Warriors' roster. Another important factor is his mindset. Kai not only accepts challenges, but strives to overcome them. He has the mindset of an athlete determined to constantly evolve, a characteristic essential for anyone wishing to make a mark in the NBA. The Warriors fan base has shown great enthusiasm for the possibility of seeing Kai join the team. They know that players with his skill set and potential don't come around every day. For many, he is exactly what the team needs to get back to the top of the league. The Golden State Warriors, one of the most respected franchises in the NBA, have built their identity around a fast, collective, and efficient style of play. With stars who have shown over the years, such as Stephen Curry, it's essential that the players on the roster adapt to this philosophy and contribute to the team's success. Kai Sotto, with his unique characteristics, could be the missing piece to bring balance to the team. His versatility is one of the main reasons for this. He is not a conventional center who only protects the paint and scores near the basket. His game awareness and quick decision-making make him a dynamic player capable of fitting into the Warriors' system. With his height and wingspan, he can be a threat both defensively and offensively, exactly the type of reinforcement the team needs to become even more competitive. Additionally, his international journey has given him valuable experience. Kai has already faced opponents with different styles of play and competed in high-level leagues, which will help him adapt to the fast-paced rhythm of the NBA. His global athlete mindset, coupled with his discipline, would make him a great asset for any franchise that bets on his talent. As Kai approaches new milestones in the B-League, his future looks increasingly promising. Every statistic achieved, whether in scoring, rebounding, or assists, reinforces his growth as a player and his preparation for greater challenges. His arrival in the NBA seems just a matter of time, and he is already seen as one of the most promising names of the new generation. The impact Kai can have on the game goes beyond what the numbers show. His presence in the paint, his ability to involve his teammates, and his ability to decide games are qualities that any team would love to have. But more than that, he has a winning mindset and an unwavering commitment to his development. If the Warriors are already known for their fast and efficient offensive style, Kai Sotto has the potential to elevate this standard even further. With him, the team could have a dominant center who would not only bring more defensive security, but also provide new offensive options. So, did you like the content? If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends. It helps a lot with our work and ensures you don't miss any videos about Kai Sotto and the future of basketball. See you next time.